It's 2. 1.
All right. So, we're here back on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. And we got Dave Schaefer, Skinny.
Believe that.
He's on here. And, you know, we just, we went over, hey, no talking back there during the show, my man. You're a newcomer here, all right?
I'm just looking for that 4 minutes of fame.
He's becoming Hitler over here on the other side.
I am, man. I became DJ jockey here.
Yeah, and then he erases the show and gets mad at us.
Well, anyways, yeah, we were talking about the Conor Mayweather, but I wanted to tap into something on this part here, man. You were saying about how you quit following boxing back in when was that?
I think the last time that I really lost interest was during the De La Hoya Mayweather. Yeah.
You know, and all this stuff going on about MMA taking over boxing and all that shit. Here's the thing. MMA will never take over boxing.
The viewers are going to love that.
Yeah. MMA is never going to take over boxing due to this fact. Boxing will take a black guy. It'll have his knockdowns, but boxing is boxing. MMA is good, everything else. But listen, you had Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, which didn't break near a lot of pro boxing world championship fights. Their pay-per-view sales, nowhere near. Box is still the top dog in that. This 2017 has been a year, I think, what did they say right now that is the
They've
revenue?
made over $2 billion in revenue in the past 6 fights this year.
Yeah. And that's only, what are you guys pointing at? We're doing this Facebook Live thing too right now. We're trying that out.
How many people are looking?
You have 4 people watching.
So, with that being said, is you had them fights, and this 2017 is only halfway through.
Yes.
And you still got Canelo, Triple G. You still got Mikey Garcia, Broner.
Yes, we do.
And didn't the Diaz and what's his name, Wilder fight? Is that happening at the end of 2017?
It's happening this year. Yeah, it's happening in September.
I mean, and then you go past that. Look at what the welterweight division and junior welterweight and welterweight, what that's been doing, and it's going into 2018. What that's going to be doing for the sport of boxing? I mean, dude, it's crazy numbers right now that boxing's putting up. Boxing will get its black eyes like it has in the past, but boxing will always be boxing, and it will be the top combat sport. And that's not a fact. That's my opinion, obviously.
I mean,
but
I agree with you.
Now going back on it, I don't want people out there, MMA fighters or fans, thinking that I'm putting it down, because I'm not. Like I've said
you're
this
saying
how many
boxing
times?
in America or boxing worldwide? Well,
If you really want to go, if you're better off keeping it in America, I think that's where MMA stands its best chance for boxing is in America. You go over to England and Eastern Europe and you start getting them in Mexico.
Yeah, those motherfuckers love boxing, man.
Now you're really fucked.
I'll tell you what. When they had Brooke and Spence, 80,000 people filled Wembley Stadium. You couldn't get that shit here in America, and you couldn't get it. Couldn't get it in any MMA fight either.
Anybody watching on this Facebook Live, if you got a quick question that you want to throw in, go ahead and we'll answer it for you.
Alicia's watching.
Is she?
Yeah. Hi, Alicia.
Ask her what she's wearing.
She can hear us.
Yeah, but so I mean that's my thing. I think boxing right now is bigger. You got look at the ESPN networks. You had Pac-Man just fight on that. There's another card coming up with Lomachenko is fighting on ESPN, and who else? ESPN is doing these fights. CBS will start doing them again.
That's what was big when there was that Wide World of Sports when they used to have
back then,
Sugar Ray Leonard and all them guys.
But this ESPN is doing this now with the Pacquiao fight, and then they got
but you know but it's rare. It's not as much as. Do you remember NBC? They had a regimen. Do you remember?
Exactly,
and USA used to, but now we have once every 3 months or
but you know what else? How about that PBC? That was big. I mean, that was huge.
I love PBC.
I mean, that's big right now. And listen, ESPN keeps doing this. Don't be surprised if CBS goes back and starts doing it again too, though.
Oh yeah.
Don't be surprised.
No, CBS did Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman.
Exactly, and then they'll probably start doing more. Now that ESPN's doing this and these other networks, they're all going to start playing because there's a demand. There is. I mean, the ESPN would have put all that money into the Pacquiao fight. He ain't going to sink all this money into the.
Did you hear Did you hear about the fight coming up? Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they were talking about that yesterday, and I think that'd be a great fan fight.
I want to go all the time. I don't get to really.
No, you don't get to do it. I'm the one that has to call them and say, "Look at the fights coming up."
Yeah, but I mean, so boxing, like I said, MMA is big in America, and it should be. Again, it's fucking fun. It's fun to watch. It's interesting.
Let's peek in on the paydays here, as far as boxing versus the UFC. As far as
it's no content.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Why do you think it is that Dana White has a stronghold on paying for championship fight, even though pay-per-view sells out?
UFC is a monopoly.
He's running the show. He doesn't have anybody to compete with.
Well, it's not him. It's Zuffa or the company that just bought them out.
He bought into it.
Yeah, but they were bought out for $4 billion. But if you're the only show in town, you pay people what you want to pay.
Sure,
but the problem with boxing, we have multitude of promoters and plus different sources so they compete against each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
they're all trying to get fighters and sign them.
Do you think maybe that's a reason Conor jumped ship, get a bigger payday?
Just for one fight.
Yeah.
But you know how much is his name just slipped my mind. I'm fucking punch drunk. We were just talking about him, the promoter for the UFC.
Dana White.
How much is he making as a promoter fee for this? Do you know what I mean?
See, there should be some type of.
If you notice, his face is everywhere at the right spot at the right time.
Yeah. Smiling like a wedding dick, right?
Yeah.
Straight up in the air, like I'm here for the fight.
My thing on that really is, there should be some type of cap on what he can make. I mean, that is like almost a monopoly. I mean, you got some small guys out there.
Well, he's burned a lot of bridges. The Diaz brothers won't fight for him anymore.
No, because he's been known to.
But why can't somebody else? Why couldn't, just say this? And I don't understand it. Why couldn't somebody with the power of like a Bob Arum, who's a boxing promoter, why couldn't they tap into
it? It would take somebody with that money and that power and political influence to even tap it.
I really don't think Bob Arum has the money that some of these other promotion companies have anymore. You know what I mean? Bob Arum's took a hit.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general.
Sorry about that, guys. Our ghetto stand's not really holding up. All right.
You had a regular size fucking phone.
We could have $10,000 in pot equipment, but $5 holding up.
Well, the big lot fucking candles are.
What if you?
Yeah.
Try it like
it can work that way. There we go.
Better.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Put that egg in front of it.
I'll put that egg in front of it.
It's unfertile.
We got an egg in front of it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, well, somebody like one of the Haymans or something. I mean, what I'm saying, if you could fight that in court and almost be like it's a fucking monopoly.
You would think. You know
what I mean? I mean, there had to be an argument. There had to be some cap.
They have been to court, and they get settled out. You know, it's easier to settle the shit out than fight it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're working with that kind of money and you're paying, let's be fair, okay? Like, I know I've had a few fighters that I worked with in the UFC, and they didn't make what they should make. I mean, you're busting your ass. You're making $50,000, and then maybe $50,000 for a win. You know what I mean? Or $50,000 for a knockout or submission of the night, and that's an if.
Yeah.
$200,000.
You know what that does? Let's ponder this for a minute. What if boxing added a knockout bonus?
There have been knockout bonuses, but what they do is they usually hide it in the contracts.
They had it with Chavez and Signorani.
Yeah.
Kenny from Youngstown, Kenny Signorani. Yeah. When Chavez fought Kenny Signorani, there was like a bounty out over.
They do it,
and I think that makes for a better.
But you got to remember, boxing, they hide things in the contract for tax purposes. They've always done it. Good trainer, friend of mine, Henry Ramirez. We were talking about on fighters' pay the other night, and remember those fights that were last weekend on Showtime?
Yeah.
Mexican kid fought 10 rounds. Fucking did great. He made $2,500.
Okay, but here's my thing though. Going back on that, but see, here's where the difference with MMA and boxing is. These MMA guys make a lot more though on their sponsors and endorsements.
Not anymore.
How do you figure?
Why? They're
not allowed to. They wear Reebok. They have to wear the same clothes now. They can't wear all the sponsors they used to.
Yeah, you used to be able to have the banners, walk in with all that.
I mean, how are they allowed to do that?
He took the money right out of their pocket.
And why is this fucking camera only on me?
Because you're the good-looking one, right? No, but what we put on Dave too, pretty good-looking guy.
What?
But no, Stitch. That's why Stitch Duran got fired. You know Stitch, right?
Yeah.
Because he bitched about it because he lost his some of his sponsors, and they showed him the door.
Wow.
Kelly, you got to keep up on this shit, man. You're the host.
I don't keep up with the MMA.
Oh, but wait a minute! You're just knocking me because I didn't keep up on boxing. Remember that a few minutes ago?
I know. No, I didn't know the fact that we're wearing a shirt.
They got Reebok had bought the contract, so they wear Reebok now, the top and bottom, and they're not allowed to have any sponsors now. Every once in a while, you'll see them sneak, and they'll pay a fine. They'll have a water bottle or something.
I've seen that.
Or a hat.
Come in with the hat at the end.
That's bullshit.
But that took money out of their pockets, so they're making less now.
Well, with that being said, then, okay, so what are we talking about?
Well, like I was telling you, we're talking about the contract.
Don't ship too much in this show.
I was talking about the boxing contracts. Well, it said that the Mexican kid made $4,500. Henry said no, he didn't make that much. They put that in there just to a number in for the commission. He probably made $2,000 for 10 rounds. You know what I mean? Because Sal Garcia, one of our good friends, said that when they would go to Mexico, and these guys will fight 10 rounds for $400 or $50 a round.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Coming up, and that's where when you're building a resume, Kelly knows better than I do on this. But when you're building a resume, you go down to Mexico or you go somewhere like that, and fight these fucking cab drivers and these. And ranchers and shit.
The donkey show guy. The guy that walks the donkey.
The rope guy for the donkey show.
Guys could come out of a garbage can and fucking get licensed in certain commissions in the state.
Well, let's not. I'm gonna poke jabs at everything because that's what I do. I'm the interrogator or the antagonizer around here.
Well, you're trying to make up for getting schooled on the reason why you thought
don't say that the rumors haven't surfaced. I'm not saying you, but there's guys that were coming up early in Youngstown that. They used to go to certain bars, I can name a few, and pull fighters out of there for $200 a night.
Well, they definitely.
So
you have certain, like in anything else, you got promoters, and they use these guys like, okay, for instance, like managers, okay, of fighters or matchmakers, and you get a lot of matchmakers who specialize in getting opponents.
Sure.
Okay, like I'm talking about fucking bums.
Well, that's what I mean. You're not going to go pick a Kimbo Slice to.
There's a guy. I'm not going to mention.
You're 2-0 and you want to go get it.
There's a guy from Youngstown, Ohio, who is very recognized in the pro by all the promoters, big time promoters in boxing because of the fact that he gets these promoters guys for their fighters that their fighters are going to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's why I'm bringing that up.
Some of these guys got 2 left legs and are going in there and fighting.
I got 2 left legs.
I know.
That's why I can't walk anymore.
So, I mean...
that's out there.
Is it a quick payday for an up-and-comer to come make... So say, hypothetically...
With the right promoter, though, it's not good for your up-and-coming fighter either. For instance, there's another kid fighting, and I'm not going to mention no names, but he was a good amateur. He had a pretty good amateur career.
Stable for if you slid it back.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it to where it stands up. We can see Kelly because his head's been blocked off.
Jeez, I don't know what else to use, man. You guys.
Can I pop my seat down?
There you go, Kelly. Right there.
That work?
Yeah. All right.
You got guys. There's a fighter who I know, who not far away, who has been fighting. Had a good amateur career. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but it was good. Mm-hmm. And he has some eyes on him, and he has fought in one space. Most of his career, he fought one fight outside of it and got beat. Mm-hmm. And
who was it?
But I'm not here to do that. But now listen. Now he's at like so many fights. He's under 10 wins, but he's around 7, 8, and 1. Where's this kid's career? Really, like now you're in a hard spot with him for keeping him at home fighting and getting paydays and everybody's now this kid's now you put him on, now you got a record. Any fighter, you got any fighter out there with an 8-1, 9-1 record, and now it's time for them to go to ESPN and fight on ESPN on a co-main event or even a main event.
So they fought trash
ESPN,
tomato cans all the way up to this point
in their hometown.
Yeah.
Now you're on ESPN. ESPN says, "No, you're fighting this guy. You're fighting this rugged Mexican dude who's 13-4,
36 and 100."
But the third, no. But this dude, and this 13-4 fighter is a fucking solid dude.
They tell you like a Mexican Olympian. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, Mexican Olympian and everything else. Yeah, your fighter that's 8-1 in there, your prima donna.
Yeah.
He gets his ass whooped because he's not ready. He is shocked. He is surprised. He's
Is that
what happens.
necessarily a bad thing though? Maybe that's a learning experience.
No, but
but unlike MMA, boxing, when you lose, that's a fucking death knell.
Oh yeah,
you lose
right.
once, you take a big step. You lose twice,
that's where a promoter needs to come in.
I heard one time a comedian, and he was true. What's his name? Well, I think it was Chris Rock talking about MMA and boxing. He said if Manny Pacquiao had the same record as some of these MMA guys, you wouldn't know Manny Pacquiao. He'd be working at a fucking Red Lobster, scraping shrimp off a fucking plate in the back.
Dude,
if you were 19 and 22, do you know what I mean?
Or walking the donkey into
Walking the donkey show.
I'm not going to stop with that.
Or clean up.
Clean up.
Hey.
Yeah, but listen. When I was signed with Top Rank. And for a while there, even when you're signed with a big promotion early in your career, you're not making the money that you think.
And I was going to say, I want to touch on that. I was there the whole time your career, and we all, as friends, used to get frustrated because he fought some pretty tough guys.
Yeah,
I mean some really tough guys. Zartucci.
Oh, Kelly's a great fighter. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
When I
fought Zartucci, I wasn't working nowhere else. But that was like my.
But you know what I mean? Who was the dude before that? I was telling somebody else where he won the NABF or whatever.
Zuniga.
Zuniga, yeah.
Tough kid.
Another fight, and like you said, you're coming up. Do you feel? Let me ask you this. And I know we've talked about this before. Do you feel your career took longer to get it? That it took more time to get there than it should have before you started getting these bigger fights, or do you think right on track?
That comes.
And did you suffer from that? Do you think the mental and the physical?
No, here's where it comes into reverse profiling. Listen, and I'm being dead honest with you. We were told by, I can't remember the guy's name with HBO Green.
Yeah.
And
Mark. Was it Mark Green?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Said that they're not going to invest. It's going to take a long time for me to get on HBO. They're not going to invest in the white kid from the Midwest that they just don't make it. That I'm not going to win. Pretty much, I'm not going to win a world title.
They Jesse James Hughes and Dana Rosenblatt themselves out. Yeah. It's not their fault.
No, it's not. But that's what was told.
Who's
to
the
me.
Other couple?
So that's why it took me 7 years to get my world title. It took. When I fought Zartucci, I was in 2007, but after that showing that I put on against Zartucci. You guys are saying,
but you went from trading punches. I mean, that's mostly what it was. You guys, two guys just in there like we were talking, ham.
But going back,
and the main reason why they kept. Sorry, James, real quick. The main reason why they kept me on. He's not sorry,
cocksucker.
He loves it. The main reason why they kept me on HBO was because I think they were more excited to see me fight Miranda. Miranda was their.
Well, that was the big hype.
Was their guy. Yeah. I wasn't picked to win that.
Well, we
fight
all went to that fight. That was in Memphis, and they were excited about the showing. How a lot of the hometown, the Youngstown, like you said, these are people that are lower class. Whatever money we scraped together for the ticket, we followed them to take those fights, and they were impressed. They said Atlantic City. What was the rumor? They came to Atlantic City, and I'll let him finish this. This was on in every major newspaper. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing for Youngstown.
Well, no, but
I could have told everybody that. Tell
them the story. I'll let you tell them.
We're walking out. Our flight was early in the morning. We're walking out of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Ricky Hatton from England.
Yeah.
Fought there not too long before that. And we're one of the head managers of like the entertainment and whatever
and all that.
Yeah.
She's like, boy, we love you and hate you guys. Now I got my fucking suitcase. My trainer got his. My dad got his. We're all like geared up going to the airport, and we stop. We're like, whoa, what do you mean by that? She goes, no, we love you because you sell us out of alcohol. We hate you because we got to restock.
The
whole boardwalk was dry.
We drank the boardwalk dry.
That's
Youngstown, Ohio.
England, motherfuckers from England, they come over and they play drums like and fucking banging drums.
You couldn't get a drink after his fight.
Yeah, they couldn't even do it.
A lot of people don't realize with Kelly. First time I saw Kelly, it was the amateurs. It might have been Marquette.
Probably.
It was Marquette. And I was like, I watched this kid, 156? 156. Maybe 147. 47. And I remember watching him, and I'm like, you know what? Thank God I don't got to fight this tall, lanky motherfucker. This kid could fucking box, man. It was just, he had skills. He was actually throwing quick combinations and dodging shots. And I was like, and people are like, oh, he's a brawler. I'm like, in what fucking world do you think if you would have seen this kid in the beginning, he wasn't a brawler? I mean,
most of my beginning of my pro career was I was a boxer.
I think it was a trainer thing. I think I'm not putting nothing bad on your trainer thing. I'm just saying that your trainer moved you somewhere where you shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I think maybe if you would have been with Robert in the beginning, I think your career would have took a whole different trajectory. Not that your career was bad. I mean, 42-2, but I think your career would have, with that management you had and the You already had great management from the beginning.
I agree.
I think Cameron Duncan is one of the best out there.
But hey, man, we did it. And it's over. Just you can talk about it now. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck. What are you gonna do though? Anyways.
So what do you think about Mikey Garcia and Adrian Broner? Because we're going to New York next week for that.
I already said it. You know, we talked about it on one of the shows.
But the show didn't get released.
Oh yeah.
So let's hear it.
I got Mikey Garcia in that, and I'll tell you why. And actually, you brought the point up too, and we both agreed on that. Mikey Garcia is just a sound, tactical fighter that could punch and got speed. And going back on about being in shape, like a Floyd Mayweather, not only is he tactical and hits hard and does everything right, the dude's he's in phenomenal shape.
The guy's amazing.
And then going on that point, you're going with Adrian Broner, who is a very skilled fighter. But like we talked about, Broner copied Mayweather's style.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the difference between Broner and Mayweather. Mayweather uses that style, but when Mayweather starts getting in trouble or that ain't working that well for him,
he switches.
Yeah, he's got a B and a C backup.
He even has a D somewhere. You know
what I mean? Because his smartness and wit. Broner don't have that. No. Broner is, if my style don't work and you're putting pressure on me, then
I'm gonna quit punching.
Yeah, I'm gonna quit punching.
And that's what he does. He quits punching when there's pressure put on.
For me, that's what mainly breaks that fight down. Broner does not have a game plan or a backup game plan, and he's fucked.
Yeah.
And with a Mikey Garcia, if you ain't got okay, somebody made a good point, Medina.
Yeah.
Okay, and now Medina's a different fighter than Mikey to a point, but Mikey still hits every bit as hard.
Or harder.
Yeah, or harder. And Mikey is fucking fast. I mean, in the speed department, it's not crazy for me to say that Adrian Broner is not faster than Garcia.
I don't think he might not be as fast.
That's why I mean.
But
they're right there in the speed category.
And you know what? And
if you're going to argue, if anybody argues that point with me, they don't know boxing.
But it's not the speed all the time; it's the timing. Yeah. Mikey has that timing.
That's what I'm saying.
That timing. Did you see when he hit the Sklanin? What is the Albanian kid? When he hit that, he threw a left hook. He spun that Albanian. He hit him with that.
Well, we can go to Dave on this one. Okay, for instance, like even in MMA, you got a guy in there. You get somebody that's a flashy speed, and you got somebody who's just fast, and you got foot movement. Mikey has phenomenal foot movement.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's not flashy with his foot movement.
He's not wasting. He don't waste it.
He makes inches and angles. He'll make a move one way. He'll make a move another way, and he's always in position and right there. He gets out of the way.
He kind of plays the bait game because there's this thing we did. We would bait you to be in a certain position.
Yeah.
To project certain attacks.
Like I said before, and I'll say it on the show. Bernard Hopkins may have been had the best footwork of any fighter.
I agree.
He knew when to come in. When you were getting ready to throw a punch, Bernard knew when to jump in and suffocate your punch. Okay? He knew when to move back and make you miss and take the power off your punch. He knew when to shoulder roll and turn his feet a certain way to take power off your punches. That's footwork. Yeah, he's not bouncing around the ring and then coming in and out, in and out. He's not flashy.
Well, do you know how many people I've told when they say, "Oh, he don't have footwork"? I said, "Footwork is not moving around the ring, going side to side, forward. It's not." No. And I said, "What good does that do you when you're moving like that and you're not placed in a position to counter?"
You're not.
I said,
"Your boy, fucking Ross Thompson." A good point. Got mad at me on my Facebook, and I hope this. Are we still Facebook Live?
We're live. Yeah, we're live.
This fucker goes. You gotta understand, I was in a ring. There was an article in a Ring magazine. Right? You're gonna laugh your ass off on this one. And this guy hit me with these Q&As. I really didn't know. Like I did like 3 interviews. I can't get over it.
It was a Ring magazine Q&A.
Yeah, I've been doing interviews though, like nonstop. So I get the call. Hey, Kelly, you want to do this? Fuck yeah, I'll do it. I ain't done them in a while. But I did it back to back to back. So this guy hit me, and he hit me with these questions because we were talking about other shit. And he just started going like, "Who was the hardest puncher? Who had the best defense? Who had the best chin?" And I'm right on the spot, so I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to sit there for like 5 minutes and go, let me break that down real quick. So I just rattle names off. Now, this Ross Thompson, who I went to decision with him because he was one of the few people that I went to decision with.
early on. You're saying,
Yeah.
Well, Ross is a good fighter.
So I put best chin because he went to decision with me. You know what I mean? You got 34 knockouts and 40 wins. That's, a lot of knockouts that you had.
He got mad as fuck, didn't he?
Yeah, and he said that his defense, I said best defense was Bernard Hopkins, or I think maybe even Martinez. And he got mad about that.
The guy asking the questions got mad.
No,
Ross
this kid
did.
Ross Thompson read it. He had the Ring Magazine article, and then he posted
he was
it on
mad
Facebook.
because you said he had the best
chin.
Yeah.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah, but he
I still put it
wanted.
in Ring Magazine.
But he wanted to. He wanted to say he had the best defense. Well,
Now he had good defense.
So you picked you insulted him, I guess, is what he's saying. Because,
then he was a punching bag.
Yeah, you were picking through his defense.
Okay.
Which, I mean,
That's what he said. That's not,
Yeah.
I
took it as a compliment.
If Kelly would have said, "Hey, Dominguez has a great chin," I'll say, "Thank you, man. That's the nicest shit."
If we're hanging out and he blasts me in the mouth and I'll fall.
But listen, you gotta let me.
You know what I mean?
You guys gotta let me have the floor on this because.
All right, we'll let you have the floor, Kelly.
Okay, because this is on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But if he thought that I was saying that he was a punching bag, well, my God, you threw 4 punches around. He posted.
You know,
He posted a
even
fight. So
sparring a heavy bag, it kind of swings back into you more than 4
Yeah,
times.
he's shaped like one.
So, my thing is this: when you go into a ring to survive, and your main job is just to survive and not counter and hit somebody back to win rounds and win the fight, but you're just in there not to get knocked out, you should have good defense. Like when your job is to stand there and do this, and you should have good defense. You really should. Like if I was fighting James right now, and James was coming after me, and I didn't want to get knocked out, and I didn't even want to win the fight, I'm going to stand there and boom, boom, boom.
Bob out a little.
A good defensive fighter is somebody that's going to make you miss and make you pay for it. And somebody who's going to make a move, maybe not at that point to counter you back, but make a move to get you in the habit of doing what you're doing to eventually catch you off
Just
guard.
like the point I was making a few minutes earlier. Great footwork is not forward and back, side to side, moving around the ring laterally. That's not good footwork is putting yourself, making the person miss, and putting yourself in position to counter. And you know what? There's a lot of guys. Pernell Whitaker. Great defense, but you know what he did? He took himself out of position to
did a lot of
counter.
times.
He was always out of position. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb, and I'm going to say it. The Cuban kid, Rigondeaux, takes himself out of position to counter a lot of the times.
He has the same style as Lomachenko, and I'm not just saying this, but the reason why I give Lomachenko this much more over Rigondeaux is because I don't see Lomachenko take himself out of... Lomachenko will make you miss while the punch is in midair and counter you before the punch still gets you.
Lomachenko will literally make you miss, climb on your arm, walk around you, and kiss you, and then...
Rigondeaux does take himself out of the equation a little too much, but even then, no, but Rigondeaux is just a special fighter.
Rigondeaux...
He's so naturally talented.
Rigondeaux is gifted. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
But what hurts Rigondeaux?
Go ahead, Dave.
What hurts Rigondeaux? Go ahead.
No, finish.
What hurts Rigondeaux is the fact that he doesn't fight, but every 2 years, and he doesn't fight anybody.
Yeah, and this last thing didn't help him.
No, that knockout.
Yeah, I mean, that was after the
belt.
It's hard. I fight. It's hard.
Dude, you can't pull. I've done that. You can't pull a punch back when it's left the chamber.
It was after the belt.
Let's touch back on the Mayweather McGregor fight. A lot of questions came up about
how is that going?
The styles. Mayweather's not used to a southpaw.
No, he is. He just has a little harder time.
And here was something that was brought that comes up in conversation a lot. How Mayweather's a big part of his defense was when he snapped that jab and then he would roll that other punch, the opponent's punch off his shoulder.
Yeah.
That he's not going to be able to do that against Conor.
That's not true.
You guys want to touch on that?
Yeah, that's not true. Because when southpaw, you just bring your shoulder over a little bit more. You roll it just a little more, and you can still counter that.
So you're saying that's not good because there were a lot of parts in that discussion.
What do you think,
That's
Kelly?
going to be an attack point, a big attack point for Conor McGregor. Now that's why I'm asking you,
Kelly don't buy into it. Kelly doesn't buy into him.
Okay, whoever brought
this
that
has
up.
been up on major networks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but that mainly came from MMA people.
That shoulder roll, you can turn it around any way you want to
Let me
throw it.
explain to you why that came from MMA people. Okay? That's fucking ridiculous in boxing. He fought Manny Pacquiao, Zab Judah, Ortiz, top professional boxers that are fucking good.
Yeah.
Pacquiao, Judah. Who else? He fought a good amount early on.
He fought a
too.
good amount.
Them guys landed some good shots on Mayweather.
But did they land them because they were talented fighters?
Yeah.
Not because they were southpaws, but because they could fucking
talented
fight.
boxers.
That's what
Zab Judah's faster than McGregor. A lot faster.
Zab Judah's faster than Mayweather. At the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. I mean, Pacquiao.
Okay.
These are guys that Mayweather had a hard.
This is just for people out there.
If you call getting hit with one good punch in 36 minutes of fighting, or two good punches in 36 minutes of fighting, then
if you want to be fair, Mayweather got rattled the most by orthodox fighters. Mosley had him out.
He did.
And then most people say Castillo beat him in the first fight.
Yeah.
And he's orthodox. So that whole, you know what? I think MMA fighters are looking for something to fucking hold on to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like losing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like losing your girlfriend.
Dude.
That's like losing your girlfriend to sniffing her handkerchief. There's something to hold on to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't need to look at like what Southpaw gave Mayweather a hard time. With an MMA fan who wants Conor McGregor to win, what they need to do if they got any chance is go to church and pray for Conor.
Come on.
That's
Come
the only
on.
fucking.
There's a question for you. Matt Calderon has a question. He wants to know if you could take McGregor.
McGregor's too small for me.
McGregor's too small, Matt.
What's going on, Matt? That's my homie.
I know.
Yeah, I went to school with him and everything.
Okay,
dude.
how credible?
Yeah, that'd be a fight, but height and size. I mean, what's his McGregor fight at now?
He's 5'9", He fights about 170, right?
Yeah, I think he's up there.
But he bounces from 155 to 170.
Yeah,
Oh, when I was playing that middleweight, right there, that would be brutal because of my power. I'm not. When I hit you, it's not a Mayweather hitting you. You know what I mean?
Okay, two questions. Let's part one. How credible do you guys feel Mayweather's chin is and going to be able to hold up?
He has great chin.
Great chin.
But you just said you guys did this.
He got rocked.
He got rocked.
Okay,
But you fight the top fighters in the world, you're going to get fucking rocked.
Yeah, but not only that though. What he got caught with and those punches that he got hit with, if that was anybody in boxing or MMA or anything, though, he got caught clean. I mean, he got hit right on the fucking.
And let me tell you,
that would have probably knocked out a lot of other fighters, top fighters.
But a lot of people will tell you in the business, Mosley was one of the hardest welterweight punchers of that time. He was fast and he hit fucking hard. This guy had what? 80% knockout percentage, 85% KO percentage.
Yeah. So he didn't get. Mayweather didn't get caught with a punch and his knees buckled, and he got hit with a fucking bomb.
Couple flush
right on the.
Mayweather has a great chin, and part of that is him because he's always in shape.
And I'm not on here to kiss Mayweather's butt. Okay, I went against Mayweather in a lot of fights. I did, and I truly admit this. And I don't know if it was out of because who he was fighting, I was a fan of. But the guy is 49-0 who fought everybody.
I agree. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I mean, that's obviously why he's taking this shot, this next
But
step in his career.
But go back into like with this Mikey Garcia and Broner. Broner, to me, that's why I have Mikey Garcia winning the fight. If Broner had a game plan B and was able to adjust in a fight, I would say, you know what, this is going to be a damn good fight.
I agree, but
I don't see that happening.
I look into the intangibles of the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The trainers. Now, as much as Mike Stafford is a fucking wonderful trainer, but he's a great amateur trainer.
He's good, yeah. He's good.
He is not a great pro trainer, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit because I have a lot of friends that worked under Mike Stafford. But I'm telling the truth.
Well, it's true.
Mike Stafford is a hell of a trainer. He's changed the lives of kids in Cincinnati all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
But as far as a pro trainer, he's not that guy. I mean, Robert Garcia is a great pro trainer and a great amateur trainer, and he has a plan for him. And if there's such a thing as a blueprint on how to beat Broner, I think out of anybody, Robert Garcia has that blueprint.
Got it now, yeah.
He has it.
I mean, he's had guys that faced Mayweather, and he had guys that faced
The same fucking guy fought them both.
Yeah, exactly. That he was training.
Yeah, he was training.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like I said, I think, and Mikey, just like Mayweather, has plan A, plan B, plan C. He has that.
He does. But what I keep saying, too, is like his speed, his power, his conditioning, all the above. But let's tap in real quickly here. You got that. And then I guess we could touch on the Canelo Triple G. This fight, I hear people saying like, "Oh man, but you got to see a spar with Triple G," and he just hits this hard. The last two fights that I've seen Triple G, I think that maybe a new strength and conditioning coach. I mean, that goes back to the Kell Brook fight. You know, he just looked arm weary. He kept shaking his arms out. No snap on the punches. He fought Danny Jacobs, who was a bigger guy.
Danny Jacobs is a good fighter, though.
But that goes to show you. That goes to show you when he fights legitimate. Now, and Canelo's not as big as Danny Jacobs. Is not going to be as big as Danny Jacobs on fight night.
Nope. But he hits every bit as hard.
Yeah, and he's fast. He another technically sound fighter.
And he's defensively.
This fight I'm not going to pick. I'm not going to give who I think is going to win.
I'm picking. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you can. I know
you won't.
But But if I was to lean towards somebody, from just seeing the last couple of fights, I'm going to lean towards Canelo.
I am too. But let me tell you why.
Sorry, real quick. But when you have the power that Triple G does,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
True. But have we ever seen anything that leads you to the fact that Canelo has a bad chin? I've never seen nothing. No. And he's fought some good guys. But the thing is, here's my take on this. If you would ask me 7 fights ago or 6 fights ago who would have won, I said Triple G easily. But the fact is, over these past 3 fights, I've seen Triple G age. I've seen something different in him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chinks in the armor, him getting hurt, him arm weary, not want to throw these punches. That is what Canelo wants. Canelo waited this fight out for a reason. He's not a stupid person. No. And now, maybe with that chink in the armor, and Canelo's in his prime. Canelo just turned 26 years old.
That's what I'm saying. And who knows? And everybody ages differently. He's Triple G is my age.
36.
Yeah,
he's older.
That's not. I don't care. People say, "Oh, look at Hopkins." Dude, those are different. People are different. Not everybody is the same.
Now, you know what? Hopkins managed to hold his career longer because he didn't fight as much.
Maybe, yeah, and the same with Floyd. When you're making the money at Floyd, you didn't have
3 years,
for a long
2 years,
time.
yeah.
For a long time, you ain't got to do.
You don't have to fight every. Yeah, you don't have to fight every 6 fucking months. You know what I mean?
So, what I'm just being said, like in any other sport, you hear people say what a 36-year-old.
Amy said to smile.
Oh no.
Amy, no.
And, you hear a baseball player in fucking baseball, not boxing, baseball. You hear a guy say, "Oh, well, that's a veteran." Because that's not a spring chicken in any sport, let alone fucking boxing. Maybe Triple G's age is starting to catch up with him.
And yes, Jeremy, I agree with you. I do think that.
Sorry, guys, I can't read these.
I know, I agree. I'm answering the questions too. But I do agree. I think Danny Jacobs did beat Triple G, but I thought it could go either way, the fight. But I had Danny Jacobs up by a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do we have coming up? Did you tell everybody that we're promoting our first MMA event, Pro-Am?
Yeah, we got MMA show. No date has been set yet.
September.
We're still in the very beginning stages of it. But we have some good fighters that are known and big followings. And James knows more on that. There's still some people I got to get in contact with, but as of right now, it's heading to be something very nice, and especially in this area, like the Youngstown, Warren area, where I'm at. You don't get a lot of MMA shows, and you know that, Skinny. You're involved in it. There has not been many good shows put on. And I think people would like to see them.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, it's time that we put a show on where no expense is spared, where we can afford to pay the fighters what they're worth, and actually bring people in from different places, not just Youngstown or Columbus or Cleveland. We can bring fighters from everywhere.
Get a little more diverse.
Yeah, and actually have some pros. Like we have one on deck from Bully Beatdown.
Yeah.
Nick Gaston on the card. Afrozilla. I mean,
you said that
Rocky Edwards. Yeah, coming on.
And also, along with that, another thing that I'm planning on doing is bringing a very good amateur show, boxing show, to the Youngstown area, and we talked about it. And a couple of big people in with the amateur boxing program, USA Boxing. There were some hints around it that if this show goes the way we think it's going to go, that they may turn this into like a national tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the type of boxing show that I'm looking to put on. That's going to probably be before the winter also, and there's going to be some phenomenal talent on that card that people would want to come see. Talk about number 1, 2 ranked type fighters in the country, and guys with numerous national tournament experience.
We got another question.
And of course, along with some local talent.
We got another question.
Yes.
Karen Tate, our homie Karen, one of our favorite people. She asked, "What do you guys think of Clarissa Shields fighting for a world title in her 4th fight on August 4th?"
If the fight is matched up to where to where it's equal, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
You know, it's sad because the women division, they don't have the same kind of competition as men. But that being said, you know, it's out there. Why not?
So
she's a 2-time gold medalist. Let her compete. Me personally, not a fan of Clarissa Shields, but it's not her fighting ability; it's her attitude. Yeah. I'm gonna say it outright. She's a bitch. Yeah. But you know what? You know who I do think a big star is, though? Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor was a fucking monster. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of her.
And like you made a good point, too. In women boxing, because of the lack of fighters and depth in weight classes and just in the sport alone, at 4 fights, you're fighting a girl who's in the same boat as you are. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, I guess.
No. And speaking of women fighters, we got a chance to meet Christy Martin a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
She was a sweetheart.
Oh, my God.
You know, when I first...
You had to remember Christy Martin. She was like the start of...
She fought under Mike Tyson undercards. She was on the Roy Jones undercards.
USA Tuesday Night Fights.
Tuesday Night Fights. Yeah. And I thought, man, I bet this woman just mean. I bet she's like a butch woman. Yeah. I went, that woman is sweet.
Yeah, she was a school teacher. You know, and if I was one of them boy students, Chrissy Martin. No, listen. No, well, she's a good-looking lady too. But what I'm saying, if I was a boy, like say like a preteen or even a teenager, 15, 16, give her a lip, I bet you she would put somebody in her place quickly. That girl could hit.
Danielle said, "Take your shirt off."
Who?
Danielle said, "Take your shirt off, Kelly."
Tell her for only
donation. You got to put the donation on Danielle.
$20 an hour, honey.
And if I take my shirt off, you'll give me $20 to put it back on.
I'll take my shirt off if you take your pants off.
We're gonna kick.
And you're right, Jeremy.
That's not part of the show. That is.
I was joking.
You're right, Jeremy. She was on the cover of Ring, but it was amazing. Also, I want we had that great event in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. That was put together. Terry.
Oh, she's
Amy Green.
Amy Green and Terry. That, you know what? That was such an amazing event. I mean, that was such an amazing event. We had a good time. They treated us really well.
Yeah, that show went really nice down there. A lot of good things. Let's start answering some more of these questions.
Well, okay. Does anybody have any other questions on here? Because Danielle said it's well worth it. You guys need to take that one offline because this is getting bad. I'm starting to sweat over here.
You're sweating. I can't read them.
Well, you know what? It's better that you don't.
How much
like Mayweather,
time are we saving in this segment, or did you want to? Because there's some other questions that may pop up, or maybe
we could pause it.
All right.
We're going to take a break.
We'll take a break and keep the questions coming.